Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Krissy. I'm from the Kennebunk Free Library, and I'm here to do story time this morning. If you can put your name down in the comments, maybe have your adult help you put your name in the comments, and I can say hi. I will try my best to say hi to everybody that posts in the comments, but if I don't, I'm sorry. I'll get to you later, or maybe Miss Maria will be commenting too. Good morning, everyone. If you put your name in the comments, I'll say hello. I hope you're doing well this morning. Hi, Charlotte and Jeannie. It's nice to see you this morning. Hi, Iona. I'm glad you're here this morning. Hello, Josh and Ellen. Hello to you too. So this is my first time doing story time like this. It's a little different. Hi, Miss Maria. So bear with me, and I hope that we'll have a lot of fun today. Hi, folks at Kimbley's Daycare. We've got Will, Robin, Eli, Tennyson, Landon, and Spencer. Hello to you all. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hi, Robbie. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you could be here this morning. Again, for those who don't know me, my name's Miss Krissy. You might know me from downstairs. I don't do story time that often down there, but I'm down there on Thursdays, so you might have seen me there. So we're just going to wait a couple of minutes, let people come in, and then we'll get started. If you're just joining us now, put your name in the comments and I'll try to say hi. It's very nice to be here this morning. I'm very glad that you can join us. And we'll get started in just a minute. I'm just letting people join as they can. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to share some stories and some songs with you. I'll have some stories that are and songs that are the same as Miss Maria's, and I'll do some that are different than Miss Maria's. Hi, Grayson. Hi, Ben. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you could be here. And I see Alistair. Hello. It's nice for you to join us. Thanks for joining us. Well, I think let's get started. I'm going to try to keep up with the comments, but if I don't, like I said, I will comment for you later, and hopefully Miss Maria will say hello as well. I think she's watching this morning. So my name's Miss Krissy. I'm coming to you from my house. This is my nice armchair in the corner of my house, and we'll be doing some songs and some stories. So we're going to start with The More We Get Together. So first, if you put your hands all the way up, you can do this with me at home. You put your hands all the way up and you wiggle your fingers, and then you put your hands all the way down and wiggle your fingers down there. And then you put your hands this way and that way and this way and that way and this way and that way and this way and that way, all over the place. That's great. That gets us warmed up. Hello, Caleb. And hello from Jackson and Eleanor. Thank you for joining us this morning. So now, ready? We want to put our hands right over our knees and tap out a nice rhythm. Can you do this with me? Good job. And we're going to start singing. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Very nice job. I love that song. That's a great way to start the morning, right? So today I'm going to be doing a few stories about birds. Have you seen any birds that are maybe coming back from the south? A lot of birds go south in the winter, but then they come back up and this is about the time of year that you start seeing birds again around here. Some birds stay here all winter, so you'll see them, but now's the time that you start seeing more birds. So we're going to do a couple of different stories about birds, and I'm going to start this a little bit differently. I'm going to tell a story about a bird from my memory, and I've got a friend who's going to be here to help me tell this. Let me just he's a little shy, so he needs to get ready first. This is Mr. Crow. Can you say hi to Mr. Crow? Now, Mr. Crow is a very important part of this story, so he is going to help me tell this. I'm going to put my camera over here, get my props in order, and put my notes there. All right. So, Mr. Crow, this is Mr. Crow. This is the story of the crow and the pitcher. Now, this is a story about Mr. Crow here. He's a very clever bird. Crows are very clever. I didn't know if you knew that. They're good at problem solving. And so this is the story of Mr. Crow. He comes across a problem and he finds a very clever solution. It's called The Crow and the Pitcher, and it's an Aesop's fable. It's a very old story. So, here we go. Once upon a time, there lived a crow. Now, he was very happy, and he was good at solving puzzles. And at one time, there was a drought, and there wasn't a lot of water around. And so it was very hard, yes, it was very hard to find water for him to drink. And he was getting thirsty, and thirstier, and thirstier. And he was scared that he didn't have any water to drink, and he knew he needed to find some water. Now, as he was flying along, he spotted on the ground a pitcher that was full of water right here. So he flew down and landed, and he looked at the pitcher, and he was trying to figure out how to get the water out. So he went in for a drink. Uh-oh, can you see what's happening? The water stops here, and he can't get his beak in here. What is he going to do? So the crow thought about it. He paced back and forth, back and forth. Now he thought about trying to tip the pitcher over, but then he realized if he did that all of the water would go into the ground because the ground was very dry. So he couldn't do that, right? Right. So instead, he came up with another idea. I don't know if you can see on my lap, there are some rocks. So he went over to the rocks that were laying on the ground, and he picked one up, and he put it in the pitcher. And he picked up another rock, walked over to the pitcher, and dropped it in. Now, can you see what's happening to the water level? As more things get added to the pitcher, the water level was here, and now it's here. So he kept at this. He was very diligent. He kept going, even though he had to make a lot of trips. All the trips. He worked for so long, grabbing one rock at a time, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until finally he thought, I think it's ready, and he was able to drink. And so the clever crow was able to save himself because he thought of a plan that was a little outside the box, but it worked. The end. Thank you, Mr. Crow. Thank you for joining us today. Now, Mr. Crow is going to go over here and listen to the rest of the stories over here. And I'm going to get the rest of my props out of the way. I love that story. So now I'm going to read you a poem, April is National Poetry Month. I don't know if you know that. Miss Maria read a poem on Tuesday for the same reason. So I am going to read you a poem. It's about a bird, a different kind of bird that you maybe have seen before. This is one of my favorite poems from when I was a child. This is called Mrs. Peck-Pigeon. It's by Eleanor Farjeon. Do you know what a pigeon looks like? A pigeon looks like that. It's got kind of a gray, and she's got little, usually pink feet. And you see them a lot in parks or on around where people live. They like to live near people, so you might have seen one before, but it's okay if you haven't. This is called Mrs. Peck-Pigeon. Mrs. Peck-Pigeon is picking for bread. Bob, 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 goes her little round head. Can you bob with me? Bob, bob, bob. Tame as a pussycat in the street. Step, 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 go her little red feet. Can you go step, step, step? Good job. With her little red feet and her little round head, Mrs. Peck-Pigeon goes picking for bread. The end. I love that poem. Thank you for letting me share it with you all. Now let's do a little rhyming poem together. And there are some motions, so I need you to get your hands ready. You can do this at home. This is called 10 fingers. So, are you ready? You hold your hands out like this, and I'm going to do a poem. I have 10 fingers, and they all belong to me, and I can make them do things. Would you like to see? I can shut them up tight. Can you shut them up tight? I can open them wide. I can put them together. I can make them hide. You put them behind your back. I can make them jump high. I can make them jump low. And I can fold them up quietly, just like so. Very good. I love that poem. So, now I'm going to share a book about another kind of animal. This one you also might have seen. You see them on farms sometimes. This is a book about Farmer Duck. It's by Martin Waddell and illustrated by Helen Oxbury. And I'm reading this today with permission by Candlewick Press. So can we all say thank you to Candlewick Press for letting me read this book today? Thank you. This is called Farmer Duck, and this is about a duck who does all the work around the farm because the farmer is lazy, and all of his friends on the farm are sad for the duck because he has to do all of the work and the farmer doesn't help at all. So they make a plan to help. And it's a little bit, there's a lot of words, so I'm going to read the words and then I'll show you the picture closer. There once was a duck who had the bad luck to live with a lazy old farmer. The duck did the work and the farmer stayed all day in bed. Can you see the farmer in bed? He's got some chocolate. He's got his newspaper. He's not even dressed. He's being very lazy. And the duck is bringing him breakfast in bed. Can you see that? The duck fetched the cow from the field. "How goes the work?" called the farmer. And the duck answered, "Quack." There's the duck. He's in the rain and bringing the cow in. Can you say quack with me? Anytime the duck says quack, anytime the duck answers, you can say that with me. That's what he says whenever the farmer says, "How goes the work?" The duck brought the sheep from the hill. "How goes the work?" called the farmer. And the duck answered, quack. There he is bringing the sheep from the hill in a snowstorm, no less. Oh, he looks very sad. The duck put the hens in their house. "How goes the work?" called the farmer. And the duck answered, do you know what the duck answered? Quack. There he is. He's doing all the work around the farm. The farmer got fat through staying in bed, and the poor duck got fed up with working all day. Here's the farmer. He's not much of a farmer, is he? How goes the work? Quack! There he is sawing wood. How goes the work? Quack! How goes the work? Quack! How goes the work? Quack! There he is doing the dishes and doing the laundry and doing all of the chores. How goes the work? Quack! How goes the work? Quack! Well, soon the poor duck grew sleepy and weepy and tired. There he is. He looks so tired, doesn't he? Have you ever been very tired because you've worked very hard? The hens and the cow and the sheep got very upset. They loved the duck, so they held a meeting under the moon, and they made a plan for the morning. "Moo," said the cow. "Baa," said the sheep. "Cluck," said the hens. And that was the plan. There they are meeting. They're hatching a plan. I wonder what it is. It was just before dawn, and the farmyard was still. Through the back door and into the house crept the cow and the sheep and the hens. Can you creep with me? They need to be very quiet. So they're creeping along. They stole down the hall. They creaked up the stairs. And there they are going into the farmer's bedroom. We're here. They squeezed under the bed of the farmer and wriggled about. Can you wriggle? The bed started to rock and the farmer woke up and he called, "How goes the work?" And can you see what's about to happen? Oh no, they're getting that farmer out of bed. Moo! Bah! Cluck! They lifted his bed and he started to shout, and they banged and they bounced the old farmer about and about and about and about right out of bed. There he is. They're all just tipping that bed right over. And he fled with the cow and the sheep and the hens mooing and baaing and clucking behind him. There he is. They are mad at him. He's not taking good care of them. The duck does all the work. Down the lane, through the fields, bah! Over the hill, cluck! And he never came back. The duck awoke and waddled wearily into the yard, expecting to hear, "How goes the work?" But nobody spoke. There he is. He looks so sad and tired because he's been doing all of the work with no help. But then the cow and the sheep and the hens came back. "Quack?" asked the duck. Can you ask that with him? Can you go, "Quack"? "Moo," said the cow. "Bah," said the sheep. "Cluck," said the hens, which told the duck the whole story. Can you see how happy that duck looks? Look at him over here. Then mooing and baaing and clucking and quacking, they all set to work on their farm. The end. All right. Thank you for being here at Storytime today. I've had a lot of fun sharing some stories and songs with you. That's all the stories I have for today. So I thought it would be nice to end with our regular ending song. Let's do Skin-a-ma-rink. And there are some motions to this. If you get your right one of your hands and then you wiggle your fingers like this, and then you prop up your other hand and wiggle your fingers. And you point to yourself for I, You cross your hands like this for love, and point away from yourself for you. And this is I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Are you ready to sing this? All right, here we go. Skinnamarink-a-rinky-dink, skinnamarink-doo. I love you. Skinnamarink-a-rinky-dink, skinnamarink-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Skinnamarink-a-rinky-dink, skinnamarink-doo. I love you. Very nicely done. Thank you so much for joining me for story time. We miss you all a lot, but I'm glad that we can get together this way. And Miss Maria will be back on Tuesday at 10:15. So we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you all for coming. Goodbye.